likes, he will steal it, meaning that he will go and buy it and will tell everybody that he had it first. And it's very concerning to me. Like, for Christmas and for his birthday, you don't even know what to fucking buy this kid because he's already bought it. It's like, he tell people, like, I want this, and then he has it the next day.
Why? I mean, you're someone who doesn't waste time. You know, if you want something, you're going to go get it right then and there, huh? That's just, you know, given that this is a podcast, you have to be verbal with your answers, so.
You know, I'm trying this new thing to normalize not responding to bullshit, so... You know.
Well, I didn't.
And then my therapist said, if you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all.
Well, I don't know
how
that
people be stealing shit. My therapist said that he ain't got no therapist.
You don't know what I have.
We're not gonna argue on Beyonce's internet today.
First of all, this is Al Gore's internet.
So let it go.
Oh my God. Well, I guess we should do this. Charles, I think you should bring us in.
Hello, world. This is Charles Wilson. We're here with Christian Henley and Raheem Manning on the Big Talk.
Yes, sir.
And I'm super excited to be here with my boy, Christian Henley.
All right. There it is, man.
All right.
I thought you just did an excellent job, man. You should.
Thank you.
You think you had a career in this.
I'm not going to cry.
Don't cry. Anyways, you guys, listen, I just want to say thank you guys for coming in and joining me on my podcast here. You guys are the second episode. This little
snap.
Little impromptu thing.
Okay.
I didn't expect this, plan this, but you know, some of the best things in life happen.
It's a little liquor, so it's a little ghetto. But,
okay.
You know,
well, I thought the addition of the liquor would make it ghetto.
No. You watch The Breakfast Club?
I do watch The Breakfast Club.
They be lit.
Oh, do they?
You don't see all that liquor around there?
I'm tending to like listen. I don't really know.
Most podcasts you walk, people have cups. There ain't coffee in them cups.
That was not coffee?
I have coffee in my cup.
Okay,
to be quite honest.
And I have kombucha.
Okay.
You didn't get any water. I'm sorry about that.
Piss poor hospitality.
Didn't even get a chance to wet the whistle.
You know,
Be over here choking.
It's all right.
They gonna think I got corona.
I think it's too soon to be joking about coronavirus.
Too soon.
I think it's too soon. We're still in it.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
I'm a survivor.
Of coronavirus?
Yeah, I'm a recovered corona patient.
Okay, all right. Again, like I said, I don't joke. You know, listen, I say I don't fear it, but I respect it. I don't play around with it.
That's right, Christian.
You know what I'm saying? I respect it.
Glory to glory.
Glory to glory. Anyways, my name is Christian. I'm with Charles and Raheem. These two fellas, the three of us actually are fraternity brothers, but I went to Georgia State and then Morehouse, and they went to Clark Atlanta University.
Oh, I forgot you did
I
go
did.
over to Morehouse.
I did.
It's funny because I realized you didn't remember that last night when the conversation was going.
Yeah, because he made a comment about Morehouse. But you know the crazy thing about it is, and we'll have to talk about this offline because
we can talk about online. That's what I'm here for.
I don't think we discussed the difference in the school, in the organization,
in the chapters.
In the chapters, like you went from such a cool chapter to such a very the contrast.
You know,
so whoa! There's no slander here.
I'm not slandering. I'm not slandering. Who are me to judge? First of all,
that's a good question.
But what I'm saying is, it's like, listen, I could talk about my family. You can't. You see what I'm saying? That's exactly how I told people.
Mm-hmm. No, I looked at that's a great. I love that. So. To provide context, we're in fraternities, and different schools have different chapters, and different chapters have different personalities. And I was at one school, and then I went to a different one. So I was in one chapter, and I went to another one. And the question is, what were the differences between the schools, and then also specifically the chapter?
I'm more interested in the schools because I know the differences between the chapters.
Well, you don't know.
Were you in any of these chapters?
The same way you said about your family, their family.
Okay, but you don't know what goes on at Aunt Pat house.
Yes, I do. I know exactly what goes on at Aunt Pat house.
You don't know what goes on at Aunt Pat house.
I'd be at Aunt Pat house.
Okay.
No, to be honest, and this is the thing, and we may have mentioned this somewhere, that the generation of bros that I incorporated or I was was incorporated with at Morehouse College was a unique time from my point of view, or from what I hear. They were really cool.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Exactly, we talked about that.
The homies, like
these were the dopest.
They were the dopest cats.
Exactly.
To come through.
Exactly.
And they're still all super cool,
Right.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I felt. I was surprised by how they ingratiated
me.
me.
They did not embody the traditional moniker and reputation of their chapter.
Exactly.
They were very different.
They were very open.
Yeah, very open, very
very
friendly,
welcoming,
yeah.
very friendly.
Super cool bros too.
They were super cool. There were. I will say though, there were a few that I felt like, oh, they're not fucking with me. They don't talk to me like that. They look at me differently. But for the most part, I felt nothing but love over there. To be honest,
At Morehouse.
At Morehouse,
Okay.
Just be specific. At Morehouse, at A Row.
Wow.
I felt.
We name dropping.
Right, like wow.
It's all right.
I mean, we're speaking positive.
This is life.
I mean, it's just life. Listen.
Okay.
So that was my experience. The difference between the chapters, to be honest, to me nothing different.
Okay.
It was as much love goes beyond, like, between you and your chapter bros.
Yeah.
Is me and my chapter bros at Georgia State. It was the same love that went between them and their chapter bros, and with me. Now I was different, right? I'm a stepbrother.
Yes.
I'm a stepbrother.
Yeah.
And you welcome your stepchild into the house, and you try to treat him as, like, evenly and fairly as you can.
Yeah.
But the stepbrother knows he's the stepbrother.
Exactly.
And then,
Handle yourselves accordingly.
exactly.
Did you feel a sense of isolation from Zeta Mu once you went over?
You know what?
I just had a flashback about a couple things.
Yeah,
during
you
that
know
time.
what? You know what? Some bros.
Yeah.
In fact, we're going on a ski trip tomorrow with one of them in particular. So we'll see how that goes.
Well, we'll talk about that name offline because I would like to know.
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But some bros, I did as a joke. You know, they would always the joke never stopped. When I came around, it was like, oh, okay, here come A-Row. It never stopped. It never stopped. Still to this day, especially this one dude I'm gonna see tomorrow. Watch, he gonna make the joke.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay. You know, so you feel like you're in between worlds a bit.
I would say I remember this one time. Me and Raheem had the luxury of being a part of a show called Sprite Step Off, where we stepped.
Yeah, I was a part of that too. Don't forget.
Oh, okay.
Were you?
Yeah.
Oh, but then well, continue your story. Then we'll go there.
continue the story.
I did step, and we did the Sprite Step Off.
Okay.
Y'all did?
Yeah, don't remember.
We were featured on the show.
Okay.
They followed us around.
All right.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
There
But they
was
followed us first. But
They
we're
did.
talking about
They
the
did
TV
really.
show
Then
here.
they
we
the
came to your
TV
school.
show, the MTV's 2 Sprite Step Off.
said that they couldn't have 2 alpha chapters.
And then they decided to go with the more dramatic one, the more conflict. And
No, they
chose,
went with the
and
better
they chose-
steppers, the
better-
ones that,
listen,
that
We
performed.
won
Listen,
that
listen.
show.
We went further.
You did a
in
great
the
job,
show.
brother.
Y'all did do a great
That show
job.
was really
No,
good.
listen,
I think it was like Phantom of the Opera or something.
Yeah, they
like
did.
it was a
They
really
did a
good
great
show.
job.
And they went with the chapter
But
that
we
had more
went
drama.
further
Well,
in the show. Y'all would have been cut off
here's-
after 2 episodes.
Oh,
That's
Got
true,
eliminated.
Raheem.
I mean,
because we did go
we
all the
made
way
it
to the
the
end.
finals.
But what I will
Oh,
say,
that's right.
and we-
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you.
and we only
Yeah,
lost to another chapter. But what I will say is this. We were talking about the differences in organization. I just want to bring this up because this is really important. We were in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and the camera crew met us at the airport in Atlanta, and then they flew and met us at the airport in Baton Rouge. And followed us around, and Zeta Mu, we had Zeta Mu bros, and we also had Deltas from our school who had to wait on us because we were the last flight, but we were the only organization that was being filmed at the time. And they also told all the organizations, they said, nobody can board the bus until Alpha Phi gets on the bus because Alpha Phi needs to sit in the back, and we need to make sure that they have a camera, that the camera crew has enough space. So we got on the bus and we did a call. We did an alpha call, and nobody from Zeta Mu responded to our call.
Well,
Really?
I'm not going to say who led that, but it was a particular.
And we
one of your
felt-
particular pro fights led the like.
We felt
No, we not rocking with.
Really?
we felt
Yeah, yeah.
crushed
Yeah.
because we were like, at the end of the day, we are still an
We're still
organization.
bros.
And at the end of the day, we rocked with Zeta Mu. We've always have. We always will.
The
Well,
bros,
I didn't know anything about this.
Oh,
Literally.
yeah.
And we
this
were
brother
like-
went to the producers and everything. Like he
we
was,
were
he was
like,
pretty
how
tight.
how did we get to this point? And I know that
First
we had
of all,
friction.
I could think about. There's only one person in my mind that comes to my mind. I could be wrong, There's one person that comes to my mind that might do something like that. He will remain nameless.
Oh, okay.
But
Yes, we won't incriminate anybody today because it's still our brother. But what I will say is we
But
were
he was
crushed.
acting like he wasn't a
Brandon,
brother at that
I
time.
remember.
He was tight.
I will name drop this. Brandon Mitchell, one of my line brothers. He looked and he said, "Oh, I don't want to do this anymore."
Yeah, it was.
He
Wow.
looked dead at us and said, I don't want to do this anymore." He was like, I'm not going to be a part of something where our own bros don't respect us doing this.
And the thing is, it wasn't us. It was production.
It was production.
It wasn't us.
We had.
And that was the thing, though. That's actually literally, when they were filming us, that would never air because they decided to film you guys. But they did film us. Okay, they did film us. And when they were filming, we had real, it was false conflict that was created by the producers of that show that turned into real conflict because some of our bros, I'm thinking it's probably the same people that you're talking about. Some of our bros in our chapter were not able to see that this is false, and they were bringing up real things in real life. On camera. Listen. I'll tell y'all a real story.
Hold up.
Stop the tapes.
Okay.
I'll tell y'all a real story. I had a roommate.
Secure the house.
My one of my profiles was my actual roommate in college, and I was in a relationship, and there was a girl at my school. My girlfriend did not go to my school. She went to Spelman. I went to Georgia State. And there was a girl at Georgia State that we were friends, but also kind of like maybe, it could be questioned. She would come over to my room quite often.
Huh.
And
Sneaky link.
yeah,
Okay.
and nothing happened at the time. And so on camera, my roommate, frat brother, says, "Hey, how come you always got," and names the girl, names her on camera. How come that girl always comes to our room?
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding you.
Why you in a whole relationship?
Why I'm in a relationship.
I'd have teed off on him.
Listen,
I'd have teed off. Oh, no,
listen.
that'd have been a cut the tapes brotherhood meeting right now.
I'm telling you, we all.
And I'd have brought it up at the chapter
And the
meeting.
bros looked around. We looked around because I was stunned. I was like, oh my God, this motherfucker really.
Wow.
And when the cameras were rolling, and then I don't know what you said. What? I'm too loud.
No,
No,
I was saying
he's trying to guess who you're talking
Okay,
about.
so okay.
Without being
Yeah.
explicit on the.
if it's the same person, then wow.
No. I think I know who you talk about, but no. And I was stunned. I said, "Oh my God, this motherfucker really doing this right now on the camera." And this is my internal monologue, and I'm like smiling like the camera, like okay. And then I'm like, the other bros looking around like, "Oh shit!" And then they cut the shit. I said, "Motherfucker, what the fuck are you doing?" Like we went at it.
You should have.
We went at it, and that's
You should
that's
have.
when it blew up. That's when it was like, okay.
You know what was really interesting? At that time, reality TV was becoming a thing.
It was.
You got to
yeah, it was.
understand
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And it wasn't as ratchet
The
yet.
Housewives had started in 2008. You had Real World that had been around for quite some time. So drama, people felt like it wasn't going to be good if it wasn't going to be drama. But to be quite honest, Alpha 5, which was our chapter, which is also the chapter that was being filmed all the way to the end of the show, we were not, we didn't fabricate any drama.
Nah,
Right? Yes,
yes,
Raheem.
we did a little bit.
No, we did not.
Yes,
we
the
were,
argument, the fight between Brandon and Sergio, we made that all the way up. The
It was
producers
not-
didn't have to tell us.
it
Oh,
was
y'all made
not-
that up on your own.
Yeah, we wasn't going to be boring.
And that's why they came to y'all.
But it wasn't fabricated. We always
it was
fought.
extrapolated.
It was definitely it was positioned in a way
wasn't foolish.
to be.
We knew that we
but
went
you
to
know
get
what?
some airtime.
To be quite honest, it was a little nerve wracking to me. And and I happen to think that I have a face for TV, but what
For radio, you
But
mean, right?
at the end of the
Face for
day,
radio.
it was one of those type of things, brother. That was like, wow,
for
we are
radio.
representing on national television
your organization.
organization.
every alpha in the world right now.
Yep,
That's
yep,
true.
Yep.
So somebody will look at this show and be like, "This is what?" Or who is this?
Like, how is this a brother?
How is this a brother? And it was very important to me to protect the integrity of
When
this
did that
organization.
moment come to you? Like, when were you like, it went from like fun and games,
Okay, in the beginning, like when the camera crew showed up, the first time the camera crew showed up was in January of 2010. We were on the campus and we were all in suits. It was suit day and we were stepping. And at that moment, I was like, "Oh, we the shit."
No. You got to add the context. At this time, it was also the
Delta's Founders Day.
who were also in the competition. They actually did really well in the competition.
Okay.
But they didn't
but they
get
weren't-
followed.
They didn't
Okay.
get. They didn't get selected
Yeah.
for the show. And so, this camera crew's around. It's their Founders Day, so, at CAU, everybody does a thing on the promenade.
Okay.
And we just kind of stole the show.
You started.
We had a camera crew.
On there.
Yeah, because y'all had a camera
We had a
crew.
And
camera
everybody
suits.
on the crowd was like, what are they doing?
And we went to them
And
out of sheer respect.
Yeah, what kind of
We
relationship?
did go to
We
them.
went to them out
and
of
they
sheer
said no.
respect and said, "Is there any way we could just do our thing and get out of you guys' way?"
Because they needed
we
some footage.
understand that this is your Founders Day, and we don't want to hijack your Founders Day.
And how did that go?
Oh, the girl said no.
They said no in the
I
rudest
low key
of
want to
ways.
drop her name.
And so Charles, the girl said no in a very, very rude way. So Charles came and said, "Don't worry about it. Come on, bros."
And we
so
basically-
right on the side of them, we just started stepping and stole the whole crowd.
And they were very disappointed.
They
But
was
you got to
upset.
understand our relationship with the Deltas. The Deltas didn't have sororities on campus for quite a long time. So they didn't have anybody to compete with but the organization that was the top in fraternities, which was us. And we had to explain to them that you don't compare where you don't compete. This is not a competition. There is no way you can compete with us on any level, on any turf, at any given time. And not even trying to be funny, but I do feel like a lot of sororities and on a lot of organizations do feel like they got to go harder than the frats. And it's like,
Right.
It's
you
two
know,
different lanes.
you stay in your
It's two
lane.
different lanes.
Yeah, it's
You
two
understand your
different
lane.
lanes.
I mean, by default, they ran the campus. By
Right.
default,
Right.
they were in everything. They were good. They were being a part
for
of
a
everything.
short amount of time.
And it was a situation where you are running it for sororities. Do not try to take over Greek life. And I happened to be MPHC president at a given time, and it was my job to really bring unity to the group, in which I successfully did. But at the end of the day, I don't forget. I didn't forget how y'all tried to drag us through the mud.
Does it
on
sound like
certain
he brought
things.
unity to that role?
I did. I really did. You was a part of my e-board. You don't think so?
Does it sound like it?
It sounds like he
I
certainly
think the
made a
role
tent.
was very functional and it was very well put together and very present. I don't know if the unity was
if the unity
genuine.
happened.
One thing
now,
that I
guess
did
what it
was-
was though? A united front.
Yeah.
Thank you. It was a united front. And one thing that I did, and I'll be through on this particular subject, is I wrote every Founders Day. I sent out a unity letter that I posted in the student center on a large television, where I wrote a letter to congratulate every organization on their Founders Day. And in that letter, I spoke about the unity of all the Divine Nine. And then I did put on a symposium that was called We Value Our Differences, 5 + 4 = 1. 5 fraternities, 4 sororities = 1. And it was a great way for us to unite, because in my speech, I used everybody aims
Okay,
in my
so
speech.
how did we get down to like a highlight?
Anyway, it's not about me.
Yeah,
It's not about me. It's not about me. It's not about
yeah,
me.
like what,
but I do.
What did we turn it
well,
into,
you took me
Charles?
there. But what I just want to say is that I think it's important that that Greeks have some type of unity between one another. One, especially now, obviously Greek life has changed in all of our different schools, and I feel like now it's more than ever to where it needs to be unity. But to circle back, that at that time I did feel like that was a very point of contention between
Right.
our chapters at that moment.
Which are
I
typically
really,
very friendly.
very friendly. We've
No,
always
beyond
had
friendly.
we've
Right.
always
Yeah,
had
it's
friendly
like-
competition.
Yeah.
You know, we
But
always
I've never
had.
even felt like we were competing. It was always like we winning.
Oh no,
Yeah,
they
we
used to
winning.
compete.
Yeah.
They used
we
to
winning
compete
it.
with us.
We winning this.
And,
like I never felt,
I-
but it was like you said, it was beyond.
But even
friendly,
in
though.
delegation-
You said compete with us. The way you even phrased that made it seem like we were competing with it. We would compete with each other. We can
yeah,
phrase
like
it.
it's-
You're right.
Phrase it.
Why would I
Yeah.
say it like that?
I mean,
don't
the nature of being alpha is competition.
It's competition.
You know,
Well, we-
so there's no escaping that.
Right.
Exactly.
But I don't think I never felt
Chapter
until
of the
that
year-
moment.
We
Right.
went hard for chapter of the year. Every year,
Yeah.
the top 3 schools was Morehouse, Clark Atlanta University, and Georgia State.
Always.
And
Back
we
to back
knew
every year.
that it was going to be one of those schools. So when another one won, we was like, they got it. You know, certain things. Were you in the chapter when y'all bought somebody a car?
No.
Charles, we weren't even in
Okay.
undergrad when
I don't
it was like
remember.
that.
The
That's
years are
the
kind of going up.
Neos.
But they won that. I think Georgia State.
We bought somebody a car. What do you
Yeah.
mean?
Your Neos got some young lady on campus. They wanted
A
like,
car.
Oh, for
gave her a car. Like
oh,
a used
really?
car. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
She
very
was-
sweet. I
she
didn't
had
know
to
that.
commute or something like that.
and that
She had
year,
to commute.
Yeah,
Wow,
something like
that's
that. But
very
this was
Yeah.
maybe 6 years after us being in school.
Okay, yeah, that's
I
why
don't
know
remember.
anything about
But
it.
anyway,
Oh,
that
do you
was the
think I
year.
am?
Well, we're the same age, so.
Okay.
But
Are
my
y'all?
years.
He
run
might be a
back.
year older than me.
Perhaps, but who's counting? I think that at the end of the day, it was moments like that that I really felt like, like we're competing, but we're there. Like
Well,
this
hopefully
is
you see
weren't
that
in
it's just
school when
that
it
one
happened,
person.
what? I'm sorry.
You weren't in school when that happened.
I'm speaking
He's
in
talking
general,
about-
but I was
the
just
bus
bringing that up
incident.
about that was the year that I remember specifically that chapter won because of that. I think.
Oh,
I think
oh,
that
chapter
was
of the
thing.
year?
Yeah.
Well,
I think that was a deciding
Matt's
factor.
year we won chapter of the year as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
think
He
other
was
years as
president,
well.
right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
come on,
In other
yeah.
years as well.
I remember it was definitely a competition. To be honest, I think since I've been in the chapter, I think we only won one, my tenure in the chapter, which was well deserved that year. But
That's the year that I was over the chapter of the year we won. Yeah.
perhaps
Yeah, that was
maybe
that
it
year.
was.
Yeah, I was
But do
over
you
it.
remember? I'll say this, and I'll be through it. And, you know, I don't want to hijack your show. This is your show.
Because you sure did.
But what's the brother name? He's tall. He wears glasses. I think his name is Thomas Rogers, or Rogers. I don't remember.
From Zeta Mu?
Yeah, I think he's. Or maybe he was from Emory. No, I think he was from JG.
Thomas
Zeta Mu.
Rogers. I don't know.
He did. Terrence. I think his name
Terrence
is
Rogers.
Yes.
Rogers,
Yeah.
He did
Very intelligent
extremely.
brother.
Oh man,
Yeah.
y'all always had
a good
some
brother.
some
Yeah, he's a good
pivotal
guy.
brothers that I
Yeah.
looked at as the epitome of alpha.
Yeah.
And that's one of them. He
Yeah.
won
Oh, yeah.
Brother of the year that I was a delegate and I was actually on the awards committee.
Yeah.
And I was like, if this brother don't win, I know something is rigged because this man, he had traveled, he had done this, that, and the third. I think he had a 4.0. He was doing well.
Harvard. He went off to Harvard.
Okay.
And got a whole birthday scholarship where every year for his birthday, people donate money to him, and he donates that money to. He created a scholarship.
My God.
That's
so he's
awesome.
Just
Amazing.
Continues to do. We'll hear from that name, that person in the future, as we will these other YouTube gentlemen. I think one of us. I don't know if we're ready to announce it.
Yeah, no, I don't know
Okay.
what you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
Big things happening. Big things coming from one of us. The one of the
Big
three
things
here.
coming from all of us.
That
All
is
of us.
true.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Charles
Thank you.
is about to drop his first music video.
I am.
and-
I really am.
Yeah, you have a couple pilots you're working on that you're trying to get, shows.
I mean,
That's
Raheem,
gonna be
you
great.
are doing amazing in Philadelphia. You know.
Oh yeah,
amazing work.
shout out to my city. I'm
And-
always putting my city on the back.
Yeah, I think we should put.
Absolutely.
I think you guys come from two very historic, very monumental cities. I think we should. Raheem comes from Philadelphia.
Yes.
And Charles comes from Detroit.
Detroit, Michigan.
Detroit, Michigan. And I am, I'm born in Detroit, Michigan, but only born there.
It's all right. Hudson Hospital.
Hudson Hospital, yeah.
Yes, sir.
So I guess I claim Los Angeles and Atlanta, Georgia, because I spent, I guess, equal amount of time in both. Actually, no, definitely more Los Angeles at this point, but Georgia was a very formative time for me. But who gives a fuck? Who really gives a fuck? Who cares? Yeah. Anyway, look, man, I wanted, you guys already kind of got the ball going. You guys just do what you guys do naturally. But I'm curious. That's what the thing about reality TV, because when I talk to people, a lot of people don't know that a lot of the conflict is artificial. Mm-hmm. A lot of that stuff is made from the producers. And I am saddened to hear that they cause real rifts interpersonally with me in my own chapter. And then they kind of exacerbated a riff. And now that was on whoever this person you were talking about that didn't seem to want to respond to your alpha call on that bus.
It's the whole chapter, but
It was the entire chapter.
Yeah. Nobody
not
responded.
not one person responded.
Well, the
There
entire
was a
chapter
stiffness.
to the I guess listening
whoever was
to the,
stepping at that time. 'Cause
Okay,
it,
yeah.
we
It was
were
the
going
step
to a
team,
step
yeah.
show.
Yeah. Listen, I'm sorry, I can't
But I know
apologize
who-
for.
I know
It's
who
fine.
ran
But
the-
you know, we
we-
did bring it up to him.
Oh, okay,
We
so
did.
yeah, you aired that
and
grievance.
it was a point to where they said, well, we felt as if you guys were doing something for TV, and we didn't want to interject.
Well,
and
but we also did not know that you guys or the chapter had felt slighted because we didn't know that they chose us over y'all. We
okay.
didn't know that until we started getting some shade and we're like, "What are you doing?" Like, well,
Yeah.
we were recording too. Okay, and then we found out we ended up got research and found out that it wasn't even the producers; it was NPHC that was like, you can't have two alpha teams and not have an iota
it
team
was
or
the
other teams or
executive
whatever.
producers.
And so then they had to come back and make that decision, but NPHC forced their hand. You know, and it was like we were getting shade for something we had nothing to do with.
We had nothing to do with
But then again, obviously the producers and the executives chose right because y'all would have had 2 episodes.
Now did
And it's okay, brother, because we do know you guys are exceptional steppers. So.
I don't need that. Thank you. I don't need that from you guys. So question: did that relationship ever mend? Do you guys know?
I think it was just that simple.
I think it was that.
Yeah, it was right after that.
you know-
And then it was like water under the bridge.
like it never happened.
But
That's
I
beautiful.
will say this: we went to nationals after that, and there was still a bit of attention from certain chapters. People felt as if we was
But
exploiting.
he was
the
talking
fraternity.
specifically about Zeta Mu. He wasn't
I'm
talking
just
about other
speaking in
chapters.
terms of just the organization as a whole, Raheem. I could do that. Thank you.
I mean, that's just taking the conversation elsewhere.
No, I'm just letting him know he doesn't have to
but
carry it on.
why are we letting him know if he didn't inquire?
Is this your show, Raheem?
Obviously, it's not yours. So that's what I'm trying to make the point.
I did
That's
feel-
a
Can we
sound
let-
effect
can we
that
let
I just want to
Christian
throw in
rule
the
the
truck.
conversation instead of you hijacking
We're not going to
it?
do this on Beyonce's internet.
First of all, this is Al Gore's internet.
So
God,
at
these
the
two, I
end of the
love
day,
them.
at the
I
end of
love
the day,
these two.
we did feel a bit of contention there, and it,
We always
you know,
felt contention
it-
from
but
other
it-
chapters,
it-
especially in Georgia. All three of our chapters
Yeah.
got looked at from
And is
other
contention
Georgia
a bad thing?
chapters because
Is
we never
contention
gave
always
them
a bad
opportunity.
thing? Is contention always a bad thing?
But
No,
it was
it's not a bad
changing the
thing.
changing
It's
the
just
subject
sad.
a little bit. Is it?
it
contention?
was no. Well, it depends on what it's rooted in. You know,
but is it always a bad thing?
It's
And
not
if
always
it
a bad
depends,
thing.
Then I guess
it's
the
not always a
answer
bad
is
thing.
okay.
I can say that
Yeah.
it's not always a bad thing. You know, if it's rooted in jealousy or if it's
Yeah.
rooted in malicious intent, then of course,
Right.
it's, you know. But if it's out of pure competition,
Yeah.
like here they done won all these step shows, here they come, you know, and I don't even think they're the best chapter.
But the thing is I used to not take it any harm because I would look at it if we were on the other side. Like there's times we went to districts and won everything. You know what I mean? It's like, damn, I can only cheer for niggas so much. Like, we know what I mean? We try to compete. They put in good energy and work too. I used to feel bad to get to accept awards at time. Like,
Yeah.
like can we why are y'all making
People
I would
stop
make you
clapping
take
after a minute.
They do.
People like,
they would never clap. Yo, we would be at districts and regionals and not get a clap at all at like the awards.
So after all, you guys feel like you felt bad for winning.
Yeah. Sometimes I did.
It became very hard to be on top. For you know, it was one of those type of things. Really,
Oh my God, who am I talking with?
Is this your true Hollywood story?
Really?
It became very hard.
Oh,
you know?
poor Charles.
We were
Oh, my
like,
God.
you know, at the end of the day, we were like, you know, I think it was a brother of your chapter. It may have been you, actually, who tweeted this. That said,
I don't ever tweet.
that
Go
said
ahead.
Alpha Phi is becoming the Yankees of step teams.
Ooh, that
And you
might
know,
have
we
been me.
actually put that. We actually took
Put
that
that
and
on
put
a
that on
hashtag,
a
on a
t-shirt.
t-shirt.
Really? Because
Yeah.
it was
We put it on a t-shirt.
What? Yes.
We put it on a
Because
t-shirt.
It was true. You know, we had went to everybody's school and racked up.
We were winning at.
But
we
to
won
be honest-
Howard University step show, Morehouse
But-
step show that year. Like everybody.
and we won district and we won regionals.
I
but
think
the thing
I
is, we
did
lost.
say that, though.
But we lost our own homecoming.
that year. Yep.
You see what I'm saying? So we
A
had to
prophet
regroup.
is never a prophet in his own land.
Oh my God! Come on, somebody. We had to regroup. And one thing, our fearless leader at the time, I'll say this and I'll be through. Sergio Mike Larry, shout out to him. He was very big on we will pick up the pieces and we will move on. We will learn from this and we will move on. And every time we stepped on everybody campus, Sergio made sure we looked the same, that we walked the same, that we were a unit, that we looked like a performers rather than just a step team.
No, what Sergio added to the team is like we were running into.
And who's
especially-
Sergio? Let's for context.
Sergio's our profile. you know.
Okay. Was he like the step master?
He was
the
the
step master
yeah.
at the time.
Okay.
And so with Sergio, so we had ran into issues where we were going to shows and other alpha teams were doing our shows.
Doing your bit.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
yeah. You know, doing our opening, like, and it's like, what? So you come and you're doing your own original show,
And someone else
you
is
look
our-
like you're second, at it,
Right,
'cause
right.
They went first.
Wow.
So we ran into that a couple times, and so Sergio then was like, we won't run into this again. So before we used to come up with a show for homecoming, premiere it at homecoming, and then that was a show we took on the road. You know, we didn't change the show. We took the show on the road. We put a lot of money into props and all. Well, after that happened a couple times, we changed the show every show. Every
time.
new uniforms, new themes, new one every show.
Okay. I can
after
already
that.
tell by this discussion that Alpha Phi took the stepping whatever way more seriously than Georgia State.
Well, it was a moneymaker.
Yeah,
You know,
I was going to say it
we
was our
would
money.
bring-
That's how we made our money.
We spent a ton of money because we had, stepping. We were bringing $100K one year. That year, we brought $100,000 into the chapter for stepping. Probably averaged maybe $50,000
You know, homecoming
a
step
year
shows are
from stepping.
like $10,000 and up.
Yeah,
sometimes.
we won 10,000 from Howard. Then FIS, we won. Was
So-
that 10,000 from FIS? And so then on our pageant, we spent
Wow, it was
$9,000
it's a
on our
business
pageant.
venture.
It's money.
For our
It's-
Alpha
it's-
Week, we spend $15,000 on Alpha Week, but we're able to do this.
but we're
because
also
stepping
giving
is
out
where all the money was coming from.
scholarships, and we're
Yeah, we're
also
doing scholarships, we're doing-
civic
yeah.
engagement with that money. So it was important to us to bring and our chapter advisor was big on it. He was like, "Y'all
better
need
get
to
out there
go
and step."
get out there and step."
Yeah.
That's what y'all can do.
And who was your chapter advisor?
At the time, it was Larry Hardy.
Okay.
Excuse me,
Dr.
Larry
Larry
Hardy.
Okay.
Dr. Larry
Dr.
Hardy.
Larry
Yeah.
Hardy. Okay.
So it was important. It was really important, and we did really take it seriously. It was
Yeah.
something
It was
that
very serious.
No, I
Like,
get
there
it.
was
some
no
of-
joke.
And
So you guys were the
my
Yankees
best
of
time.
chapters.
We were, and you know,
Can I get one of these shirts,
Yeah.
or does it have you guys' chapter like?
It did. So
But
the
you're
shirt
wel-
was
you're welcome to-
hashtag
Thank
Alpha
you.
5
Thank you.
on the front.
Yeah, I know we're
Hashtag Alpha
AUC.
5. And then
Yeah,
on the
you
back,
know what I mean?
Atlanta
it
University.
had all the
Center.
sayings. So we
Can
took all of some of it.
Yeah, can I get that because I contributed to it, so
I mean, it's a
pretty old.
12-year-old shirt.
Yeah.
it doesn't
but-
matter. 12 years are perfect.
Okay, cool. It's
Yeah.
vintage then, I guess.
Yeah, I love to have it.
If you still have your Twitter, go back and see what you.
No, I
tweeted.
definitely
think it
wrote
might-
that.
it definitely
I
was
remember
there.
it.
Actually,
It
I
definitely was
remember
there.
it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember verbatim.
Yeah, I
one
remember
thing that
yeah.
I have is a
And we
great
put- That
memory.
was good on the shirt too.
Yeah.
I have a great memory, so I do
The thing
remember quite.
the thing is when you
honestly.
said that I tweeted it was like, ooh, probably not because I literally rarely tweet.
Yeah.
In the course of my life, and so because I rarely tweet, I remember the ones. I remember the ones I did, and that I'm like, wow, that actually sounds like me, and that I did say that.
yeah.
And it's very true.
I think one thing, like an undergrad, and I credit Alpha 5 for this, is like we took everything entirely too serious.
Yes.
Like everything was serious. Not only stepping, the pageant was serious.
Well, how were your grades?
The was serious. It was all that. How you think we were in the chapter of the year?
Yeah.
Now all of us
Don't lie.
wasn't.
No.
Now all of us wasn't.
Mine was
we
on
had,
rocky
Let's talk about
terrain.
that
we had
scholar. Let's talk
brothers
about that scholarship.
who held the chapter GPA up.
Okay.
I
Did.
wasn't one of those brothers.
Nah, I
but,
was not
You
either.
know, but we had brothers who were
So
like
I'm talking to the
literally
two.
their goals was
I'm
to
talking
get
to the
4.0.
two. Y'all were the steppers. Y'all, that's
But
y'all
no,
brought.
we was the steppers. We was
Yeah.
on the e-board. We was the
Okay.
workers. We were over chapter of the year,
Absolutely.
parliamentarian,
Okay,
historian.
absolutely.
Okay,
We were the
okay,
worker bros.
Okay,
you
the
know?
worker.
But
bros.
you
And
know-
on campus too. You know, we also held so many hats on campus,
yeah.
outside of the frat.
But you know, we talked about Alpha Phi a lot. I do want to just bring up Zeta Mu.
Yeah.
One thing that I loved about Zeta Mu was that we didn't have is that you guys didn't have homes, but you had a chapter room.
Yeah.
And it
That
was
was
dope.
really dope.
We
Yeah.
loved that
We was
chapter
jealous of
room.
that
Yeah.
thing.
We was jealous of
Yeah,
everybody that had
every had a
anything.
chapter.
Had a house, had a room.
New
We didn't
Albany
have
house
nothing.
up Emory.
We was
Wait,
so-
y'all didn't. So there was no house. There was no nothing.
No, we
No,
basically
had
got a
plots.
house.
We get plots.
We get plots,
Plots.
and that's
And
it.
nobody can step on them.
Bruhs just
Yeah.
rented houses and said, "This the Alpha
This
house."
is Alpha House.
Okay,
We
yeah,
just
exactly.
rented
Very
houses
ghetto.
and put
Yeah,
letters
exactly.
outside.
Very much so ghetto.
That's-
So ghetto.
But you guys had a room, and another thing that I really appreciate about Zeta Mu is I think the amount of effort that we put into our step shows, you guys put into your pageants. Your pageants
Oh,
were
the pageant was all
well
that.
produced.
Oh my God. The pageants
Every
was all
year.
that, yeah.
To be honest, to be honest, I really feel like the bros. Again, in my journey there, the bros that were in that chapter, kind of leaving as I was coming in, the Adolphuses, the Kirk Browns, these guys,
The legends,
the
legendary,
legends,
right.
the
The
legendaries.
legendary. Put some respect on that name.
Okay.
Yeah, the legendary Kirk Brown, and these guys still to this day they just uphold excellence
Yeah.
and all that, and they're very meticulous and they're very like even Kirk to this day he's like
Talk about Mayor Kirk
Mayor
Brown.
Kirk Brown, who is like a
Listen.
regular everyday, regular person who got like he's like check verified on Instagram for what?
For what?
What do you do?
Listen, the man has lunch with
Billboards.
Oprah. The man
Billboards
literally
in
has lunch with
Atlanta.
Oprah
It's
and
just-
flies kids to South Africa for
listen,
dinner in the sky.
You
the
know what I
brother's
mean?
style
Like, listen,
is just
and he's fly.
Yeah,
as
and he's
can
fly.
be.
impeccable.
It's like
Yeah,
it's like
Kurt's
Kirk
definitely
Brown
cool.
is just he's got the recipe for life, man.
Yeah.
It's-
Exactly.
It
Cheat
doesn't
code.
stop.
It's
He
a
was
cheat code.
Mr. Freshman, he was Mr. Sophomore, he was Mr. Junior, he was homecoming king,
Jesus
and now he graduates. I swear to God,
I
he
didn't
won.
know that.
Yeah. Oh, y'all didn't know? He was Royal Court. He won Royal Court every single year he was there, and then came out of Georgia State and did the same thing in the city.
Yes.
Yeah.
It just don't stop
It
with
just
that guy.
don't
stop.
It
It
doesn't
don't
stop.
stop.
And
Beautiful wife, beautiful baby.
wife,
Oh
beautiful-
my God,
Yes.
Tatum, raising
Yeah,
Tatum.
Raising Tatum.
Yeah.
Raising Tatum. So, anyways, I just say like you said, there were some bros in Zeta Mu
Yeah.
that literally were like the quintessential, like this is what an alpha is.
Absolutely.
And I would have to concur. I am not that guy, but
I did my job.
I'm developing into one of those people.
Yeah.
But anyways, man, listen. This has been really really fun.
I mean, it turned into the Alpha podcast.
I guess
like,
listen. The thing about conversations is you let them take
they
you.
go is
You
where
know,
they go.
where they go is where they go.
Or
And
you
I'm-
let Charles drive the boat.
well, that's just what needed to be had today.
I'm not driving no boat in here. We ain't got no do say. But
I'm talking with two very, very upstanding, very, very heavily alpha men. So I figured, conversation doesn't surprise me that it went to an alpha
I
place.
think it's not that we're alpha and like I think that's the commonality amongst
Between
the
three of
room.
us,
Between
yes,
three of us.
Yeah,
exactly.
so that's where it naturally went.
Hey, but
Even
you
though
got-
our friendship is like very independent of alpha.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And
definitely.
I hate Greeky people. Like, we're 10 years out.
You just sat here and spent 30 minutes talking about Greek.
But
You said, I
the
hate
conversation
Greek
went there. I mean, I am a subject matter expert on the subject, but at the end of the matter, at the end of the day, what matters is the fact that we 10, 11 years out, 12 years out.
Yeah.
So we don't always have to talk about Greek life and things of that nature, and we don't. We talk about life, but that's the joy of a fraternity. It's being able to go back on those moments, the moments that shaped us, the moments that made us, the moment that challenged us in these organizations that has shaped us as men today.
And that is very true.
We would
those
not be the
lessons
men that
definitely.
we are today without those experiences, whether they were good, bad, or indifferent. So
Yeah.
But I was saying before, our relationship is funny because we are alphas, and I met you through alpha, but our relationship is very independent.
That's very true.
Of alpha,
It deepened when we went.
right.
We met,
you guys went out of the country together.
Yeah. Well, we
didn't go together.
We didn't go together. Let's make it clear.
I was out going study abroad, touchdown, and a brother was like, Christian Henley's out there. I'm like, oh, okay, and I Facebooked you.
And you guys connect.
I Facebook messaged you.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Hey, man,
But that goes to
bro,
show.
you say I'm here, bro.
You in China?
In city's population of 2, there's even a brother there.
Yeah,
There's my
that's
brother
So you have to understand, like, you can go anywhere and you're gonna find a brother.
And you're gonna find a brother. That's real.
Okay, you just gotta
And
figure
I
out if
think it was very good because, when I put my mountain set together to go study abroad in Shanghai, is that I was leaving everything familiar behind, and I was there for a week or two before I even knew you were there. So it was it was amazing to grapple on something familiar. It was like, wait, I know somebody.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yo, bro, where you at? I'm coming. I'm gonna find this metro out an hour away to get
Right,
to
exactly. Figure out how to
how
get-
Dashua.
exactly.
And so, definitely, I think that was a really good, powerful, bond. It was the familiarity. And then you ate Carl's Jr. every day for
I
3
did.
months.
I did.
It was
I
really
mean, I
bad.
needed some type of Western food. I was the only dude, right? Because we had you and I, and then the 3 other people that came with me on the trip from Morehouse. I was the only person that gained weight in our out of the 5 of us, I guess. Listen, man,
Did you try a lot of the local food, or did you just really?
I did try a lot of the local food.
What was your favorite local food?
The hambao. I just made that up right
Yeah,
now. I just made that up. It sounded like okay.
Jesus Christ.
He don't know how to speak no Mandarin. He
Oh,
act like he
Don't
do.
get this man started.
You know what you said? I know how to Chinese man.
No, I didn't. Zhongwen is Chinese,
It's
bro.
China.
Hui
Zhongwen is China.
No, Zhongguo is China.
Okay.
Zhongwen is Chinese. Get it together, playboy.
But Hui is not speak. Hui
Yes, it
is can.
No, it's not.
Hui is-
Wo Hui, or you could say
Wo
Wo
Hui
Shui
is-
Shui.
Oh,
No, no.
Yeah, come on,
Hui-
bro. Look it
listen.
up, bro. Wo Hui
Look it up right
Zhongwen.
now. Look right now. Wo Hui.
Wo Hui Zhongwen is I speak Chinese.
Wo Hui
I
is
know
I
Chinese,
can.
It's not, bro. It's I know Chinese, bro. That's what it is. I know Mandarin to be specific.
Uh-huh.
Mr.
Wo Hui
Oh,
sure.
Zhong
Speak is sure.
Zhongguo.
Speak is
It's
sure.
like
Speak
alphas
is sure,
to
but you can
bicker
also say
over
Hui
who knows
or no.
another language
Yeah, come
better.
on, dude. Like, what's up?
Wo
man?
Hui
Just like
sure.
alphas.
What, but
Hui
it's
sure
like,
putong,
it's like you can also say, it's like you can say, like, I speak English, or like I know English.
Right.
Hui is the I know English.
Right.
I know Mandarin, like Wo Hui Zhongwen, or I can say Wo Hui Yingwen, like So
I just know that when we left China, my Mandarin was much better than
bro,
yours.
you studied Mandarin before we went to China.
I did.
I didn't even know.
Here we go.
Ni hao until I got on the plane,
overachiever.
and I was shaking and moving in Shanghai.
Oh, you were shaking it.
Yes. I was.
He was out there shaking it.
and moving in Shanghai with my Mandarin.
Raheem, we go to Chinese restaurants and he tries to talk to people in Mandarin.
And
I'm
how
like,
does it ha-
Raheem,
and
that
how does it
doesn't
work?
mean that they know
Right.
Mandarin.
Do they know Mandarin first? Because a lot of Chinese people that you go
Appreciate
to,
that.
No, a lot of them speak Cantonese. First of all,
Yes.
Correct.
So you be
Yes.
over there talking
Right.
about something.
And they be like,
They be like, can you speak
Right.
English?
or Weshama.
Wait, shit.
Yeah, I didn't know I knew a little bit too.
Yeah.
He knows from being around.
And I knew he
Yeah.
was gonna say that.
Right.
He can't
So you got
even
secondhand
let
wrong.
me shine.
You got
He
secondhand
can't
wrong.
even let
Come on,
me
please.
shine. He was like, he knows for me.
Right.
Jesus
And the
Christ.
thing is this though, because like I've been back to China like 8 times.
Oh yeah, that's right. 'Cause
You know what I mean? Like, I've been
okay,
back
so let's
several
plug that.
times.
Let's
True.
plug that for a little bit. So one of the brothers here, Raheem, he's got a company, The Weekender. Let me make sure I get it correct. He got The Weekender, and he curates these excursions for a collection, a group of people. Sometimes private parties as well, but sometimes for people who don't know each other, and he brings a lot of people together, which is very, very sick. Obviously impacted by the coronavirus. Yep. But also private people. Privates are happening.
Yeah.
So I do want to. Do you have any socials that you want to like plug for that?
Oh yeah. You can find us on Instagram at The Weekender Trips. You can find us on Facebook at The Weekender Trips. Our website is theweekendertrips.com. If you Google The Weekender Trips, all of our stuff will come up, particularly. And I do want to shout out that I don't know if you are aware, but Charles is the COO of The Weekender.
Oh, okay. Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm sitting here with the Weekender elite right here.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is the leadership.
Correct. I wasn't going to say anything because
You were scared to.
it's not my business. But,
That's your business, quite literally.
I mean,
This is
I am a
business.
pivotal
Yeah.
part of it.
Yeah.
I am a staple in the community. But it's been great just to see this brother really I want to touch on this. The reason why I travel internationally is because of Raheem. 4 years ago, I was like, I had started working on my own. I had started my own business, kind of, and I was working remote, and I could work anywhere in the world, which is literally what my clients told me when I started. And I told Raheem, and I was like, I want to start traveling, but I got to get my finances together. And he said, the money will always come back, but the time you will never get back.
Wow.
If you have the time now, travel before you
Wow.
get married, before you have children. And I told him this, but I pondered on that all night. And I said, fuck it, I'm going to Egypt. I said, it was that the next one, I didn't know how I was going to get there. I didn't know. And my finances was on rocky terrain. You hear me? Them things was non-existent. And I had just got a new job. I was working for myself. My income was coming in or whatever, but there were still things that I needed to take care of. And, I reached out to my family and was like, y'all, I'm going out of town. I'm going to Africa for the first time. I'm going to Greece or whatever. So if anything can help, my family ended up financing the whole trip.
Wow.
And I ended up paying for, just my travel there and my flights there. And then ever since, I've been traveling on. This past year, I was able to take my dad to Paris, Ghana, and London.
Wow.
And independent, of the Weekender and things of that nature. So it was great because the things I learned from the Weekender, the things I learned from Raheem as being an expert in travel was what I was able to take my 59-year-old dad to these places with, and we were able to navigate pretty confidently because of that.
And that's beautiful because a lot of times our parents aren't of the generation that's out there just traveling, like we are. So, Rocky, could you speak a little bit, Raheem, on like the philosophy of why you found travel so important to the point in which you decided to make a career out of it?
Yeah, absolutely. So, the Weekender kind of came about as like a business passion. I was traveling on my own. I first got the travel bug when my first trip out of the country was when I was 15. I went to South Africa and got to meet Nelson Mandela, and it was like an amazing experience, right? It was like my first flight ever was a 20-hour flight. It's like,
Jeez.
Now, wait. Now, you tell this story all the time. Please tell you. Who did you go to South Africa with?
So I went to Overbrook High School.
Okay.
Castle on the Hill. It's a really staple high school in West Philadelphia.
Oh, sure.
It is home to Guy Bluford, which is the first African-American in space. Wilt Chamberlain, of course, we know Wilt Chamberlain, the NBA All-Star and Hall of Famer. And then also Will Smith. Is an alum of my high school.
Oh, and then named his production company Overbrook.
Overbrook High School.
Right.
Overbrook Entertainment,
Overbrook.
So, and the
Connecting
colors
dots.
are from Overbrook High
Wow.
School. So,
Okay.
you guys remember the show TRL, right?
Yes.
And so TRL used to do back in the day, we're old, so they used to do back these high school reunion episodes.
Right.
Where they would have a celebrity guest and surprise them with people from their high school. So Will Smith was on TRL this year, and this is in 2005. And they had already told Overbrook, and so our principal got everybody to go up, and I wanted to go. And I was in the principal's office like I'm going. And she was like, no, Raheem, this one's not for you. We're going to take all of our seniors. And so I was like really upset about that. like I wanted to go to TRL. Like I love TRL.
Right.
And so they go up there, and they meet with Will Smith and surprise him and all. And so Will had just got appointed as the ambassador of Nelson Mandela's 46664, which is his organization to fight AIDS on the continent, right?
Right.
And so he was going to, be inaugurated as the ambassador, and then also MTV was launching its Africa channel, MTV Base. So long story short, he tells Miss Young, hey, give me your top 10 students. I'm going to Africa in 2 weeks. I'm going to take all of you guys with me.
Wow.
And so when Miss Young comes back, this is TRL is on a Saturday. She comes back Sunday, and she calls, and she calls my mom, and my mom's on the phone, and all I hear is my mom start screaming, right? I'm like, she's like, oh my God, like, and I'm like, Mom, what are you doing? Like, I'm trying to watch TV. She's like, guess where you going? I'm like, what are you talking about? And she couldn't even get it out, and I just took like the phone. She was passing the phone, And it was Miss Young, and she was like, tell your mom to calm down, Raheem. I'm like, Mom, what's going on? She said, well, you're going to Africa with Will Smith.
Wow.
And she was like, we're leaving in 2 weeks. We went to school that Monday. Will sent the team there to get us all our passports.
What?
Sent luggage, sent everything we needed.
What?
And that's how I had and we got to meet Nelson Mandela while we was there. It was like really dope experience.
Thank you, Charles, because this is going to be
that's a great
different
story.
than I went out the country first.
But
when I
he
was
tells this story. I don't know why he tried to. He tells this story all the time.
He brag about everything else.
Here we
everything,
go.
and it's so
Chinese
well.
better, but-
Listen, it's so well thought out. It's almost like it's rehearsed. And I'm like, you gonna skip this for this man podcast?
Right.
First of all, that's just the story, And so that was kind of how I got the travel bug, right? And so after that, I did that, went off to school. Like that's why I kind of fueled getting away from Philadelphia a little further for school. Went 12 hours away.
You should reach
And
out
then,
to Will.
It will be a time.
It'll be okay. Yeah, I know you guys already thinking about it. You guys already thinking about it. It will be a time.
It will be a time.
It will be there. Right.
And so what travel to me, my philosophy to bring it back is that travel is exposure. My ability to get on a plane at 15 and leave Philadelphia and go out the country for the first time when nobody in my family had ever been out the country, and experience another culture and see black people in another part of the world and see how people were living. But on the same side of it, I saw poverty like I've never seen before and wealth like I've never seen before in the same experience. And, it kind of just reshaped how I looked at everything. Everything became much smaller because the world became much bigger.
Wow.
And so that was kind of like my journey there, like experiences. So I went off to China by myself and I'm like, you know what, I'm going. And, that added to the experience. And so when I came back, it was I was now comfortable to go travel. Like I will get up and go travel like you guys go to the corner store.
Yeah,
because
we know
Very much
because,
so.
I mean, you in LA right now. And like,
And we'll call you the day before and be like, I'm touching down to LA tomorrow.
all the time.
Like, Raheem.
I wonder if it was just me.
Right.
I was like, bro, you travel like
I ain't even got no clean blankets.
for real.
Jesus Christ.
And then, but I'm leaving in 15
I'm leaving in
15 minutes after I
20
got
minutes,
there.
'cause I gotta go to
'cause
Vegas.
I-
Right.
You got,
So,
gotta keep moving.
You don't stay nowhere.
And so that has transitioned into the weekender because it's just a matter of exposing primarily black professionals, to the world around them, right?
Yeah.
And it's a very unique thing for our generation because the older generation, our parents and grandparents, didn't have the luxury to travel, right?
Yeah.
And then it's two things
Right.
when providing travel for young black professionals. We only focus primarily on group trips because it's creating a safe space,
Right.
Because when you travel while you're black, a lot of times it's a very unearthing experience. People,
Right.
you remember in China, people used to look at us like, we were, aliens. Like,
Yeah.
like who is these people? Like, what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And like going even in the United States, like Jimmy Baldwin used to say, and James Baldwin used to say, what is there to have comfort and convenience if you don't have safety? And so a lot of the places the Weekenders started taking black people to is like Martha's Vineyard. We went to the Hamptons, these traditionally ritzy, white areas where black people weren't even allowed not too long ago. You know what I mean? Like your
Right.
parents couldn't go to the vineyard unless they were going to the Inkwell, which is, founded out of black workers on the vineyard, or to the Hamptons. Of course they have Southampton, which is again, which is very segregated, but we were going to East Hampton. We was going to, the main parts and booking $1 million homes, but would still have to be cautious because if somebody saw the house full of black people,
Right.
turning up, having a good time, and our clientele is doctors, lawyers, educators, but
Right.
if they see us turning up, they don't see any of that.
Right.
So it was kind of like creating safe spaces. That's why we were like focusing on group, so that not only when you went and you booked a trip by yourself, you showed up, you were around like-minded individuals in a safe, curated environment that protected who you were, but also the duality it is to be black. Because to be black is to be a doctor, but also twerk. I mean, to be black
Okay,
is to
hello?
be. You know
This
what I
is
mean?
very true.
Hey, right there. That's it right
Okay,
there.
make it clap.
Okay, how you stop it though?
You got to let it run its course.
Oh, okay.
Can I-
Okay.
around.
All right.
So I think
That was too long.
the Weekender was kind of founded on creating those environments where people were safe to be all there was to be black. Like I said, our clientele is very educated, very well off, and so that's kind of just where it's going.
No, I was telling you to keep going.
Oh,
I
okay,
wanted to
yeah,
check,
I was
keep speaking.
yeah,
I was going to check the time.
that's particularly where it's at. And so we have expanded from our original mission. We started off in 2015. We did a trip to the Poconos, and that was just basically because I had friends of mine who had never been to the Poconos that lived in Philly. And I'm like, let's go. We're going to go skiing, right? And we went up there and went skiing. Started with 33 people in the Poconos, one house skiing. Now we are up to like 200 people that go to that Poconos trip. We've been
Really?
to every
That's very
continent on the
intense.
planet
It's
except
very
Antarctica. We are, at our peak, pre-pandemic, we were up to maybe almost 20 trips a year. We now do private trips. We also do events now as well. So we've kind of grown, and we also do educational tours as well. So
Really?
College tours for students and stuff. So we've grown quite.
And now I get that wow, this is amazing. Now I get that you guys are doing like everything you just said. I was thinking about, since we are currently at a WeWork, like how about and you were talking about working, you can work from anywhere. Is there anything like where you have like working trips, like people can like travel while they work or something like that? Or
Great idea.
You
We've never done that, but like a remote all year type thing.
Yeah, like
people have done
remote,
that before. That would actually be a great idea that I think that we should explore.
Yeah, because there is a company that does like remote year, but it's pretty whitewashed.
Yeah, it
exactly.
is.
Exactly.
But they go to one country for a year,
No,
or
they do
go
multiple,
or they do,
countries over
or they
there.
do a region pretty
they do
much.
like-
and
There's
then
somewhere
they-
for like 2 months.
Yeah,
and
and
then
they
another 2
go.
months, another
And
2
I
months,
think that's an extraordinary opportunity. I per se wouldn't do a full year.
Exactly.
I think that, if we do decide to do something like that, we have to think about maybe like 6 months or something like that. But I think that's how you want to get enthralled in a culture. That's a really good way. You know what I'm saying? You ain't leaving in 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? So you have to adapt to the circumstances of what's going on in that country. So
Yeah.
I do agree with that, and I think that that
think
we
it's
should
something to
explore something like
investigate.
that.
Yeah, definitely.
I have not yet. And
We
then
should
we
bring
can
you on and put you a part of put you over the
Over the remote year. There we go.
remote year. There it is, right there.
There we go. Dang, the team is just growing.
Just growing, full of
telling
alphas.
All right, we're now at minute 50. So, guys, I just want to say thank you so much for sparing your valuable time coming down here to West Hollywood, talking with me. One from Culver City, but really Detroit, and the other flying in from Philadelphia. I am truly honored and grateful, dude. So thank you, Charles. Do you have any souls? Because we didn't even get to here yet. But Charles is a beautiful musician.
Oh, thank you.
And so, if you can find,
his music is beautiful. Yes, very much.
but he has a face for radio.
People do.
But he has a face for radio.
Face for
Yes,
radio.
he has a face for radio.
Well, he's got beautiful music. You can find his music at
Charles Devon, Devon Music.
Okay.
On all social media. I just had an EP that dropped in October. Which
Amazing
was
music. Amazing.
Hybrid. And
Sorry,
it's fun. And I'm working on new music. I'm putting out a song a month, starting this month, and videos.
Video coming out.
And I also consult with other artists. So,
Okay.
I help other artists put their music out. I help them do strategic planning. I help them just be confident in really putting their art out. So, hit me up on Charles Devon Music on any of the platforms.
beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, you guys can follow me on Instagram, my personal page at Great Debater 8. I'm also on Facebook and Twitter and all that. All 8 Great Debater 8 for all of my handles.
Great Debater 8.
Great Debater 8.
And the Weekender Trips on Instagram if you would like to see a little bit more about the Weekender.
Absolutely. And find out
absolutely.
go on these trips.
And then you can also find me on my newly launched website, RaheemManning.com. And I'll let you a little bit more about my civic engagement as well as my entrepreneur endeavors. I do some other things outside of the Weekender. And I'm also a big and fan of champion nonprofits, and I serve on about 5 nonprofit boards.
You can also catch me on my OnlyFans.
Okay.
My OnlyFans account is coming out.
right.
So my Pornhub Premium.
Okay, that's
account
not where
is,
we went. That's not where we're going with this. Alrighty, lovely people. Thank you so much. Until next week. Bye.
Yeah, let's go.